Adapt or die. That is my favorite person, Billy Beane, a general manager for the Oakland Athletics, said in the book Moneyball. This quote was said when he decided to take in the sabermetrics, which is basically means heavily using statistics and data when getting new players rather than general perceptions. He used this strategy in order for his team to compete with other baseball teams with a limited amount of capital. When I heard this quote, it was very similar to what I felt in the beginning of my journey at Salisbury School. I have to, quote unquote, adapt. In other words, take risks and try new things. I will not fully utilize the opportunities at this special place. Salisbury really helped me to grow, and there are still many things that I learn every day. I was born in Japan, but mostly I spent my life at Scarsdale, New York. I don't consider my life at Scarsdale was bad at all. I was in the varsity track and field team, on the baseball team, and had made my social group of friends. But inside of my heart, I knew something was wrong. Looking back at myself, probably it was having a closed-minded heart. There were tons of opportunities at my old school, where I was able to join a new club to gain a new knowledge. Yet, I decided to become passive and only focus on activities that I enjoyed. My life has completely changed after a family meeting in the fall of my sophomore year. My parents told me how they were most likely going back to Japan and I have to follow them. I was immediately told to join a Japanese cram school and start studying for the entrance exams. But the thing is, I didn't want it to go back. I wanted to stay in the United States and make sure I would get an education like my older brother did. So I researched online, and that is how I found about the idea of boarding school. When I first heard about Salisbury School, my first initial reaction was, boys' school? Really? Well, it was a completely new idea to me. All the other schools that I applied to were co-ed school, and I wasn't sure if I can get used to this drastic change in an environment. For example, number one, having no girls in the school. Number two, wearing coat and tie. Number three, having Saturday schools. Look, there are a bunch of other things that I can mention, but I wasn't sure if this was the type of school for me. But my consultant strongly suggested me to visit here. He mentioned this school is a very unique school that I will not fully grasp the idea until I visit. So in a very freezing snowy day, I decided to visit the hilltop. As my tour guide was explaining about the buildings and the facilities, right off the bat, it was hard to explain in words, but I knew this school has something. I saw students that were very connected. It was more of a brotherhood than a friendship. I had never seen those strong bonds in my life. It made me imagine how great it would be to be part of that brotherhood. After the tour, I asserted myself this was the school for me. Since the visit, I was every day hoping if I could get into Salisbury, and I still don't forget the moment when I received that acceptance email. It was during my English class, when I heard it back. I couldn't stop smiling. I was in a happy face, like in an emoji, for the rest of my day, and everyone in my school was creeping out. But while I was excited to start my junior year at Salisbury, I also had a fear too. I knew I had to make friends from zero again, and it would take me a while to fully join the Salisbury community. As expected, the beginning of my junior year was rough. I had to organize my plans by myself without my parents' help. It was pretty hard to not have friends to start. Eventually, I was swallowed by this monster of pressure and eventually became homesick. And I want to appreciate all the faculty members, especially my advisor, Mrs. Brandon, for helping me whenever I was mentally down. I don't think I was able to get over these obstacles without their support. As time passed by, I started to get comfortable. I began to start conversations and gain my opinions on my friends' topics. And so far, my senior year has been the most busy and enjoyable year in my high school life. I'll probably get more excited once my college results come back. So, as probably everyone knows already, I am deeply in love with the sport of baseball. I love playing and watching baseball. Last year, when spring came, I was very excited to play baseball and try out for the varsity team. However, during the Florida trip, I dislocated my throwing arm. I was diagnosed that I'll be missing the first half of the season. I got disappointed. The time and energy that I spent to baseball was ripped in pieces. After watching my teammates play baseball, and I'm just sitting there keeping the scores, it wasn't very difficult for me at the time. Right after the injury, I was able to communicate with my favorite baseball player. His name is Munenori Kawasaki. I think not a lot of people know about him. He played for my favorite team, Toronto Blue Jays, for a few years, and played for the Chicago Cubs last year. I was invited from my father to join an event where Kawasaki was a special guest. I had a chance to speak to him, and when I did, I explained about my shoulder injury, and I questioned him if all my hard work doesn't worth anymore. He responded, "This experience was not worthless. You learned a lesson, then now it's time to step back and just have fun. You gotta first enjoy the game, buddy." This short 2-sentence speech from Kawasaki was the turning point of my life. Right after I spoke with Kawasaki, my father suggested me to read the book Moneyball. When I read it, it completely changed the way I see baseball now. The Oakland Athletics took an analytical approach, obtaining undervalued baseball players that were better than all-star players in certain stats. I was amazed to see how in baseball, there are millions of perceptions that we make, and I realized that we have to carefully see the stats to fully evaluate each baseball player. Since then, I have been reading dozens of analytical books about baseball, and now, baseball analyst is one of the jobs that I want to become. So, what is the message? Well, the message is that you fully don't understand a concept until you get deep into it. We make superficial ideas and often not try because of initial perceptions. The only way to understand how fun is a sport or club or any activity is to try it out and get in touch with it. So guys, especially the underclassmen, try to get out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. It can be anything. Maybe try a new sport that you have never played before, or maybe join the play. I did it last year. It was very fun. Another option might be is creating a club. I was very scared to make a ping pong club first. Everything started from a one quick email that I sent to Mr. Chandler during the summer, and I didn't even know whether it would work out or not. But whatever the result was, I was okay with it. Because I knew, even if it didn't work out, Salver would back me up and make me stand up again. Okay, maybe the activity that you tried out didn't work out. All right, how about this activity? How about that activity? My point is that this is the only time you can experience new things without being discouraged. When you go outside from the hilltop, there are not a lot of places that you can try and fail. Trust me, by challenging yourself and taking risks, you will develop an important ability to not be afraid of obstacles, and it will be much easier for you to get over them. If I can do it, then all my brothers, you can guys do it too. You give it a shot, fellas. Well, don't you think it is now the perfect time to take risks? Hey, 2016 will never come back. The only thing we can do is make 2017 the most meaningful year. 10 days have passed, but it's not too late. Let's start this year fresh. Seize the moment, we got this.